Hello, it's Danny, and for this week's video, I thought I would answer some questions about shift life. Shift life? Oh my god. Hello. Danny speaking. Yeah, Jim? Yeah. Hello, it's Danny, and for this week's video, I thought I would answer some questions about living and dancing on a ship. Not because I think I'm that important, but because this is my second contract and I really, really love it. And the main reason why I started vlogging in the first place is because I was one of those dancers that had never danced on a ship before, always wanted to, but didn't have enough information about it. Like, I was so curious, needed questions answered, so I feel like this would be perfect for someone like that. Or if you're not a dancer and you're just curious about the whole experience in general. Last week I sent out a message asking for questions to be thrown my way for anyone who might be interested. So first question, how long does a ship contract usually last? So this varies depending on the ship as well as the company. I'm with Royal Caribbean on Jewel of the Seas. I'm actually wearing the shirt right now. And this one is a 9-month contract. It's 2 months of land rehearsals in North Miami. And then we installed the shows to the ship. Our tech rehearsals were 3.5 weeks. And then now we are in the meat of our contract, which is about 7-ish months. Just living the ship life experience and performing every day. And yeah. How long are rehearsals before you open each show? So we have 3 main production shows. We have City of Dreams, West End of Broadway, and Tango Buenos Aires. I would guess maybe like 4 or 5 days to open each show. Like the first day would be staging rehearsals, getting used to the space, entering and exiting through the wings. The second day would be like adding the technical elements, so lights and fog and moving hydro platforms on the stage. You got to be aware of anything passing or closing on stage. And the third day is like more technical elements / like running everything from top to bottom full out to make sure everything's safe and that we're familiar with it. Usually like the 4th day or like the day before we open up the show, we add the costumes, which is probably the hardest part. I'm the worst quick changer, so we add in all of these like 14-second quick changes between each number. Things break while you're dancing on stage or while you're quick changing and you don't make it out in time, and it's just like, that's definitely the hardest part for me. And then we open up the show, so it's about 4 or 5 days, I would have to say. What is your schedule like on the ship and any free time? Yes, we do have free time. Now that we're out of install, I think our schedule is going to calm down a little bit, but it's always going to change. We started out this contract in 7-day cruises. Now we are in 9-day cruises, and then it's going to go back to 7-day, 5-day, 14-day, 16-day. It's just going to keep changing. So in a nutshell, the very first day we do a PAX drill for the guests, just in case there's an emergency on board, as well as a sail away party as we pull out from port on the first day, where we do a flash mob on the pool deck. And then we have a welcome aboard show in the theater that night as well, where we just have a little bit, it's like a variety show, a little bit of everything. The 2nd or 3rd day of the cruise, we do a production show. If it's a 9-day cruise, it's the 3rd, 6th, and 8th day that we do our production shows. We do a 70s show in the Centrum sometime in the middle of the cruise. We teach dance classes sometime. We have a dinner theater murder mystery situation happening, I think usually towards the end of the cruises, but we haven't learned that yet. We have a farewell show on the very, very last day of the voyage, so it's continuously changing, but that's in a nutshell what we have. We don't have a full day off usually. Some days are busier than others. Definitely always have time for the gym. Last contract, I worked out like 5 or 6 days a week. I always had time to work out, so that's good. How is it dancing on a moving stage? Well, some days are worse than others. If you're leaping in the air and the ship happens to like raise a little bit, the floor kind of surprises you, which is no bueno because injuries can definitely happen during something like that. But if it's the opposite and the ship leaves you, you're like suspending in the air, like flying, and you're like, oh my gosh, I have so much air time. And then the landing after that could also be dangerous. So it's very scary, especially since all of these shows are in heels like the whole time. Yeah, it's definitely hard. And also, before I even started working on ships, a lot of my friends said that you get sea legs, where after a contract, when you go back to your city and back into dance classes, you're just so used to like holding yourself on a rocky platform that when you're finally dancing on just land, it just is the weirdest thing, and they call it sea legs, which I definitely experienced. It's not as bad as I thought. It sounded so terrifying, and like maybe all of my technique would be completely ruined, but it's fine. It's just, it takes some getting used to once you get off the ship. Do you have to participate in a mustard drill? Yes, I do. So each cast member is pretty much a muster station leader. My station is S7. And yeah, we kind of overlook everything. We give an announcement, a little speech to let them know who we are in case of an emergency. And then we list out missing cabin numbers. There are a couple announcements overhead that give out more information. And yeah, in like a half hour, it's done. Can you mingle with guests? Absolutely not. Well, you can talk to them. They're very, very, very strict on that. Sometimes I'm even afraid if they come and hug me after a show, I'm like, is this allowed? I don't really know where the line is drawn, so I just kind of avoid guests at all times. Don't want to get fired for that. What is the best and worst part about working on a cruise? So I'll start with worst so that I can end on a positive note with the best part of working on a cruise. So I guess the worst part, the confined space and the shower. I don't know how anyone larger than me would fit in there because it is so small. Cell service and Wi-Fi. I can't use any cellular data. Wi-Fi is so expensive and really not that great here on the ship. There's something freeing about not needing your phone all the time, but when the majority of your contract takes place not in the US where you get service, I can see why it would get hard, but so far I'm doing fine. Week 4. I guess last worst thing about dancing on a ship is probably the fact that I'm like falling off the face of the earth. So I'm not up to date with things that are going on in life, whether it has to do with like my family and friends or if it has to do with auditions for certain things in New York City that I wish I was there for. Missing opportunities, I guess. The best part about dancing on a cruise, I feel like there's so many things, but first of all, I'm traveling and I feel so lucky to be able to be going to the Mediterranean, like Greece, Italy, Malta, Spain, France, and then going to the Caribbean, Antigua, Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Martin, all of these really, really cool islands. I'm doing what I love every single day, and get paid to do it, pay off those student loans, and it looks good on a resume, especially Royal Caribbean. I know it's one of the best companies for entertainment when it comes to working on a cruise, so I feel very lucky to be able to put that on my resume. I feel like I've learned so much from last year, learned so much from this contract already. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. But that's my video. I hope this wasn't too boring. I was full of questions when I first started out and I never did a ship. So if this didn't answer everyone's question, please, please, please comment down below any questions that you might have. And I will obviously respond to them because I have nothing else to do. I think I will get back to travel vlogging next week. So again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and I will see you next week. Good night.